Welcome to Tuesdays with Cherrie here at the Rise of Talk.
Hello, good evening. Welcome again to Tuesdays with Cherry. And it's such a pleasure. We're so overwhelmed with your support. We receive a lot of views and a lot of inquiries and a lot of requests to continue this show. So maraming salamat po.
Hi, Cherrie. Welcome everyone to the Tuesdays with Cherrie here at the Rise of Talk. And we're happy again to bring you some interesting talks and conversations and learning skills this afternoon. Okay, Chairs, ano nang nangyari sa'yo this week?
Maraming nangyari this week, no? It's like a first week of MSCQ again. And for sure, as always, we are very versatile people. So we adjust immediately. We follow the rules. I never been out of our house since the MSCQ. I'm stuck in my room. But I'm so happy for the privilege to still work and be of change to other people. So patuloy pa rin, nagtitinda kami ng gulay, fruits, and a lot of food deliveries and Move Food Initiative as well as in the Agria Rescue Kitchen. So maraming nangyayari at marami pang gagawin.
Yeah, just like last week, we got to know Cherrie and we learned a lot of things from her on the condition of farming and agriculture state of this country. Ngayong araw naman, mga kapatid, we are very excited kasi there is really an actual, okay, planting that may happen later on. Pero syempre, before that, we have to teach you how to plant. You know, ang pinaka-expert dito syempre si Cherrie yan. Wala nang iba. And then, what will happen later on is that you will get to know her in a more fun manner, okay, as she does it. And then second, we will kind of discuss as a very interesting nursery rhyme na kilala natin lahat kung bata pa tayo. May alam ka ba, Miss Cherrie, about that? Siguro mga viewers natin may alam about it. Pero mamaya na natin yung gagawin, di ba? So, are you excited?
Mapapasubo yata ako dito sa kantahan, Jewel, ah.
Hindi naman, kaya mo naman kumanta. Kasi di ba, sabi nila, when you plant daw, sabi nga nila, di ba, sometimes kinakantahan mo. So, I'm sure our composer of this song before made it really like that para maalala natin what is the meaning of this song. But it's interesting. Ngayon ko lang nalaman na ito pala yun siya. So, yeah, last week pinag-usapan natin that anyone can actually start farming, can actually start appreciating the beauty of making their homes very productive as well, no? As they plant, and at the same time, marami tayong pwedeng ma-learn din sa kanila. At the same time, I really want also for you to share that with us. So, can you tell us, Che, na bago pa magseryoso, can you tell us about the fun experience you had when you started planting?
I always love it when I start planting kasi parang, the joy of waiting is such a fun experience. I don't know kung weird lang ako, but I always love it when I plant a seed and then nagsushoot na siya. I couldn't wait na parang it's such a joy and it's a blessing, no? To really given a life, di ba? Yung seed nga, parang binao mo na siya sa lupa, but then you don't know if tutubo or hindi. So, it's fun lang pag umuusbong, natutuwa talaga ako. And aside from that, I always believe na I always get energy from plants. So like for example, no, this is actually in my room. I have my sagging there beside me. I have all different indoor plants inside me. Kasi natutuwa ako kung paano na you have living things around you. Sabi
Yeah.
ko nga, di ba, yung agriculture is the only industry that is dealing with all living things. You're dealing with plants, you're dealing with animals, you're dealing with people who, consume the food. So, it's such a fun experience to be involved in this nature of work. And at the same time, lalo na Jill, pag pupunta ako sa farm, sobrang daming jokes yung mga farmers and sometimes lalo na yung mga lolo-lolo farmers or mga lola-lola farmers, parang ang saya lang nilang kasama and then nakakatuwa kasi yung mga jokes nila parang hindi ka mapapagod at the end of the day na ang ganda lang if you're with the farmers, with the real farmers on the ground.
I like it when you said that there is joy in waiting. Kasi 'di ba, during this MECQ, ECQ and everything, we've been waiting for the normal to happen. Pero wala nang normal. The normal is the new normal right now. That's why here at Tuesdays with Cherry, there will always be a joy in waiting for whatever is next in our next episode. So today, bago natin ibigay sa kanila yung pinaghandaan ni Cherry,
Parang hugot, no? The joy of waiting. Ah, grabe. Yung iba naiinip na. Pero bawal mainip, ha?
okay, because beautiful things happen when you wait. Tama,
Yes,
Cher?
yes.
Like,
It's exciting. Yeah, it's exciting when you wait. Hindi mo alam kung anong mangyayari next, but it's so beautiful.
said, there's so much fun in planting and in farming kasi you get to engage with people, like the farmers themselves. Hindi mo akalain na ang buhay nila ay masaya din. Kasi, ikaw you're so blessed kasi kasama mo sila halos araw-araw, kasama mo, kausap mo sila. And when I was actually reading about new food initiatives, you were talking to about 7,000 farmers para lang madala yung pagkain dito. But we'll talk about that later, no, during this pandemic. But you know what, mga friends, this is part of Cherry. Just, she's so glamorosa, but she's a farmer. Alam mo yung ma-mix mo, can you imagine her, glamorosa na siya, she's in the farm, and at the same time, andun yung kamay niya na nadudumihan. Pero, alam niyo ba na normal din siya, just like you? Kasi,
Sobrang normal.
ayan, isang fan ng Chloe. Alam mo yung Chloe?
Oh my goodness. Si Hondin, my sweetheart.
Sexy farmer, this global ambassador for nutrition, is also a fan of your favorite show, The Crash Landing on You. Ilang
Oh,
beses
no. Isang beses ko lang siyang pinanood, but then may mga episodes na inulit-ulit ko, lalo na yung mga nagagandahan kong episodes. And by the way, Hanbin, Captain Ree is a gardener. He planted and took care of a tomato, di ba? So parang he planted tomato and then he was like, he made it fruit. So ang saya. Sabi ko, yung crush ko, at least nagtatanim ng kamatis.
niya,
Nabuhay.
it was what he gave the girl or something.
Yes. He gave the girl kamatis. Tapos, iniwanan siya ng kamatis ng girl as a gift. Tapos, nabuhay naman niya. Nag-fruit din naman yung kamatis. Naging meme pa nga niya sa video game competition na ginawa niya, di ba? So, parang natuwa ako. Sabi ko, wow, at the end of the day, si Captain Ree nagtatanim ng kamatis. Parang, crush na crush.
Very compliment na as simple as kamatis, was something very special na binigay sa kanya, diba? So just like ako nga, sabi ko, there's so much learnings in life when you think of farming. So I'm so glad to know that you are also a Hyun Bin fan. Okay. Yung nakarelate sa inyong lahat. I'm sure kayo din, marami kayong napabalikan ng mga episodes doon. Aside from being a Hyun Bin fan, friends, alam niyo ba na si Cherry ay isang landscape horticulturist? Can you tell us
Yes.
about
That's my first job. So, sa lahat ng nagandahan sa Greenbelt area in Makati, or if you are in Taguig, kung nagandahan kayo ng Market, Serendra, Bonifacio High Street, ABC, or kung sa North kayo, sa Santa Rosa, sa Novali, My first job was actually a landscape horticulturist supervisor of Ayala Land,
Mhm.
a development corporation. That's my first company I worked with. And ang saya nun kasi halos hindi kami natutulog just to make these places beautiful. And after 10 years nga, di ba 10 years na parang I was visiting these places before na parang hirap na hirap kami kasi like we do landscaping from 10 p.m. and then we would end at like 3 a.m. or sometimes and go to the office at 7 a.m. Wala ka ng tulog. But ngayon, keep visiting these places. Greenbelt is so near where I live now. Sabi ko, my God, ito yung mga pinagpapagura namin dati, yung mga pagtatanim-tanim ng mga halaman dito, mga kahoy, sa Bonifacio High Street, lalo na nitong lockdown. Grabe, sobrang green ng Bonifacio High Street. And dati parang hirap na hirap kami doon na paano ito pagandahin kasi it was really nothing. So, I still do landscaping. So, if there's a chance to design a space for landscape, I'm more than happy to do so. It's such a joy in my heart, and I love plants so much. No, not only the edible ones, but landscape plants also.
Yes. Um, how long did you do one project like Greenbelt? Because I love Greenbelt talaga. Yung
Yeah,
how
so we're such a team doing it. It took a while. So it's phases eh. So parang mga 1 to 3 years. But I was involved there for more than a year in that project. So simultaneous, no, may ginagawa ka kasi hindi naman pwedeng isang project lang, di ba? So there were a lot of projects ongoing. But at the end of the day, parang the joy kasi may mga halaman na yung isang halaman gusto niya maraming tubig. Yung isang halaman gusto niya wala siyang tubig. Or
how
yung iba naman, gusto niya maraming init, no? Maraming sunshine. Yung iba naman, gusto niya more indoor, more shady. So the science and the art in landscaping is something very, very fascinating to learn. Because hindi pwedeng, kasi maganda silang lahat, igrupo silang lahat. But then, iba pala yung kanilang need in terms of sunlight, soil, or water. So, the science and art talaga, lahat ng kaartihan mo, ilalabas mo. But then, at the end of the day, you also need to be careful that there's science behind it. So, yun siya, nakakatuwa.
ang galing, no? Ang dami tunan sa'yo because tama ka, in our own understanding, minsan ako like for example, nagsa-start ako dito sa bahay, magtanim-tanim, ang iniisip ko, I just have to put all the nice ones in place and all that. Pero pag ang variety, may nice and the little ones and the big ones, pag inilagay mo pala sila, there's so much harmony and beauty in those kind of complementing plants, no? So I'm
Yes.
glad. Wow. And now you do with other projects is what you've said. Pero meron akong isang gustong malaman that others probably don't know too. Can you tell us that ano itong sinasabi mo na si Cherry ay mahilig kumain, okay? Mahilig din yan siya mag-exercise, pero may isa kang hilig na I think maganda rin for you to know about her. Mahilig magbasa ng libron. What are the books that you have been
Ah, yeah. So I really love, I think the more you get busier, the more you also take time to really take care of yourself. And for me, every day I take like 2 hours of my time every morning to just focus on myself. Sometimes I don't even go straight to my phone. I just want to read books. I eat pretty healthy and I do a lot of exercise in the 2 hours. So for muna sa pagkain, every time, every morning, I do intermittent fasting, by the way. So lahat na nag-intermittent fasting dyan, I can share with you the health benefits of doing this. And it's really keeping me healthy. But before I break my fast, I always drink a lot of water. So I think the moment I wake up, I take water with lemon, and usually 1 liter I finish it, including during my exercise. And I love drinking coffee with lauren oil or MCT. It's like a bulletproof coffee, so I do every morning. And yung before taking a break from intermittent, the first food, solid food I eat is fruits. I always eat fruits first every before any meal in a day. And for books naman, I always have this reading, beside me. I have my Bible here. I have meditation books here. I have history books here. Actually, since I'm in my bedroom right now, I'm reading a book. It's called The Wisdom of the Native Americans. So this
Hmm.
is like my new reading right now that I'm just reading. And on the other side naman, if I want to have like a chill feel, I have this summer bed. Parang you don't really need to think. It's just like a funny read. And another one, I have this The Isaiah Effect. So it's
Okay.
really about, and this is such a wonderful book. This is really about, decoding the lost science of prayer and prophecy. Because sometimes we feel that prayer, of course, ako, Jewel, I really love to pray because for me, I feel like, God in whoever form, kung sino man yung God ng mga viewers natin, no? So, kung si Jesus man yan, kung si Allah man yan, kung si Buddha man yan, or whoever you believe in, for me, there's always like a pure connection. So feeling ko every day, parang I just sit and I feel like my God is just beside me and I can talk to Him straight and pour out my desires, my prayers and my wants, and also what I can do, what He wants me to do. So these are the stuff that I'm always reading. And every time I fly, I always have book in my bag. I don't know why. And
And
meron ako isang hilig. Every airport I go to, pag may 2 hours akong layover, the first thing I go to is a bookstore. I always collect books from airports and I read it and I just sit there and I just read it because I'm just so happy learning even like a line or something. So yun yung mga gusto kong gawin.
many things to share with us in regard to your readings. And yeah, I agree with you that I remember when my father was still alive, and sabi niya rin sa akin, with reading, you don't really need to leave the room, but you can travel, you can explore the
Yes.
world. So exploring things with you, Cherry, is really exciting. Okay. Galing. Ang ganda ng mga books mo, ha, pa-share. Kasi
Sure, you can borrow them. Yeah.
that also is something, sabi nga na iba, sometimes gusto mong mag-rest, anong ginagawa mo? Sometimes, reading lang. I mean, I also find time to read. Most especially itong MECQ, ang nag-ECQ tayo. Binalik ko na ulit ang mga libro. But it's not, for me naman, I read the books that enrich me as well. So, may mga fun books, may mga serious books ako. And then may isa akong libro ngayon na gustong bilhin, The Atomic Habits. Are you
Yes.
familiar? Yes,
Yes,
it's a
yes, I'm familiar.
book to us by Pastor Peter. And I plan to buy that, no, and read that, and I'll share that with you. Okay, so, aha, wow, ang dami, ang daming pwede natin pag-usapan ngayon, Cherry, on your research. Can you share to us this internationally published research? When did you do this?
Oh, I think I was 17 years old. I was so fascinated on what to major in my university. So, Jewel, no, lahat ng tao gustong maging anong kurso nila, 'di ba? My mom wanted me to be a doctor. Tapos sabi ko, I really want to be a farmer and I really want to be a farmer entrepreneur in the future. So I left home, I got a scholarship and sent myself to school. Sabi ng nanay ko, sige ha, pupunta ako, invite me on your graduation, basta you're top of your class at hindi ka mabubuntis. Such a strict mom. So, sabi ko, for sure, gagraduate ako at invite kita sa graduation ko. But more than that, my mom was so happy with this one because I was so fascinated in tissue culture. So I'm an agriculturist by profession and I major in horticulture. I specialize in tissue culture. So basically, tissue culture
Okay.
is so scientific. I stayed most of the time inside the laboratory and dissecting cells of a plant and plant it inside a test tube to be a new plant. Because for everyone to know pala, um, plant is the only living organism in the whole universe that can grow itself with the same, DNA and the same element. So it's called totipotency. A single cell can grow into a whole plant. Hindi pwede yung tao na tanggalan tayo ng cell. That's a cherry can grow, a cell can grow another cherry, you know. It doesn't, work with us like that. But in plants, it does. So I had a thesis. It's called in vitro culture of microtuber for yam. So yung ube, 'di ba lahat ngayon nagpa-purple yam, yung ube pandesal. Kumain nga lang ako kanina ng ube pandesal. So actually ube was my thesis. So I did the tissue culture of ube. We
Mm-hmm.
planted the ube in test tubes to break the cycle of dormancy. Kasi yung ube na yan, kahit itanim mo yan ngayon, if it's not the right time for the ube to grow, it will not grow. It has 5 months dormancy period before it will grow. So total is like 15 months for the farmers to harvest their ube. So what we did, the only way to do that the farmers will have whole year round supply of planting material, which is disease-free planting material and very good qualities to do tissue culture. It's not manipulating the genes of the ube. It's just really making sure that it's a good quality planting materials for our farmers. So nagpa-in vitro kami. In vitro means inside the tube, inside a vessel. So we planted that inside the test tube and also mga recyclable ketchup bottles. Oh my goodness. When I was doing my thesis, I think I was 18 years old. I
That,
think I washed more than 2,000 ketchup bottles to be my test tube because I had no money to buy test tubes. So eventually, with the help of my thesis advisor and research assistant, we made it. And the moment I graduated, it's also published internationally, not only in the Philippines. So it's a joy na parang, I was only a teenager, just curious with stuff. And then eventually it was in a scientific international publication with the help of my thesis advisor. So we made it happen. And right now, the tissue culture of ube is actually being used in the Philippines. If you go for plantations in Palawan, in Davao, they can usually have access to that. They can buy the tissue culture from Philippine root crops of the Philippines in Leyte, in Visayas State University, where I come from.
yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually, you will share with us, no, here in the show also, where these curious guests and viewers have an access, no, to those things. Saan nila mababasa yan, saan nila makikita yan, and at the same time, saan sila makakakuha ng mga tissue cultures na yan na pwede rin nilang, as a scientist, I believe that you are a scientist also. You have that spirit in you, you have that skills in you, and the brilliance in you. Na i-share yung alam na yan. So I'm very proud of you, and at the same time, we need more people like you. So for those parents actually who are watching right now, if your kids are really curious on a lot of things, allow them to experiment, allow them to ask questions. Kasi parang may ngayong panahon, we just have to keep learning and learning. So
Yes.
that kind of spirit
Yeah.
na very, very curious ka is very good. Look at you at 70.
Actually, Jewel, no, I always like sharing nga na if you still don't have parang things that you're passionate about, or if you haven't find your passion yet, actually curiosity is one thing that could lead you in finding your passion. So curiosity is one thing that could lead you in finding your passion. So it's something that I would really encourage a lot of our viewers now to really like pursue what they like to do. Ako kasi parang you know me naman what you see is what you get. And usually if I love to do this thing, I don't really care if you don't like it or not. As long as I want to do this, I will do it no matter what. So, when I was young, I was a bit stubborn, but I know kasi na kaya ko siyang gawin even though manghingi ako ng scholarship or I get like grants just to make it happen, but I will really make sure that it will happen. Yeah.
Wow, okay. So, Cherry, we have engaged our viewers to our conversation because we want them to connect with you and we want them also to learn from you and at the same time know what's in their hearts when they watch Tuesdays with Cherry. So, one viewer sent us a question for you and it says like this.
Hi, Miss Jewel and Miss Cherrie. I am Ethel Abellanosa from Tuburan, Cebu. And I am an avid follower of Rise Up Talk and an avid fan of Miss Cherrie, the sexy farmer. Ask ko lang po sana kung ilan po yung gulay na meron sa bahay kubo at mahirap po ba itanim ito?
Sinasabi ko when we started that there is a nursery song, na Filipino nursery song when we were young, na ito yung tinuro na una sa atin when I think we're grade 1. Feeling ko grade 1, ito yung tinuturo sa atin. So, bahay kubo. Bahay kubo is lipahat. Pero when you say bahay kubo na kanta, feeling ko, damang-dama mo na feeling Filipino ka talaga, di ba? So,
Yes,
um,
yeah.
during the discussions this last week, na meron palang 18 na vegetables sa bahay kubo. So, Michelle,
Yeah, there are 18 vegetables in Bahay Kubo. So it's such a lot of vegetables, no? But basically, for me lang, I like that song. It's because even if it's like a Bahay Kubo, it's full of abundance because of all these vegetables around it. And actually, it's before I had a project in my previous farm that we really put up the bahay kubo and we planted all those 18 vegetables around it. Tapos, nagtuturo ko sa mga bata sa Waldorf na we would go around and would sing the bahay kubo and we go to the vegetables present in the song. So, nakakatawa lang siya. What?
alam mo paano pakantahin yan, yung bahay kubo?
Um, konti. Baka mapapasubo ako dito. So, baka kantahin ko siya.
For the first few lines of bahay kubo,
Sige. Paano to? Bahay kubo, kahit punti, ang halaman doon ay sari-sari. Singkamas at talong, sigarilyas at mani, sitaw, bataw, patani. Oh, hindi ko na matatapos tapusin mo.
hindi na. Sila na mag-research kasi hindi ko na yan forte.
But I can teach them how to plant the vegetables in the bahay kubo.
So this pandemic, actually, gusto lang natin gumawa ng mga bagay na bago naman sa atin. I'm sure, eto, bago. Because of these Tuesdays with Cherrie, binalikan ko yung bahay kubo kanina, bago tayo mag-start. And then I realized, sabi ko, oh nga, no, napakasimple ng buhay sa probinsya at napakasimple nitong hut na to, nipa hut, yung bahay kubo natin. Pero when you plant these 18 vegetables siguro, that makes everything abundant. So noon pa lang, when the composer did that, inisip niya that the basics of life starts with planting your own food in your own garden or in your own soil there. So imagine, magtanim ka ng 18 na vegetables.
Vegetable.
So meron
So
ka ng
imagine, yeah. Actually, if you planted 18 vegetables around your house, so the whole year round, hindi ka talaga maubusan ng pagkain because some of those vegetables can give you fruits in like 2 months, in 3 months, or in a month, or can give you fruit like the whole year. So alam mo yon, parang every time you go out of your house, you can just harvest and have fruit on on your table. So dapat nga with this pandemic, alam mo, Jewel, it's a good reminder for all of us na isn't it so freeing that you know how to grow your own food? It's such a freedom, na marunong kang magtanim ng sarili mong pagkain. Kaya nga later on, I'm so excited to share a little bit of tips on how to plant fruits and vegetables or basically siguro kung ano yung pwedeng at madaling itanim from the Bahay Kubo song. I can teach you how.
sa mga viewers natin, okay, alam natin lahat to, ang bahay kubo. And then, we will flash on our screen the 18 different vegetables na pwede natin itanim sa ating mga bahay. Okay? And si Miss Cherrie will give us 3 vegetables na madaling itanim. Daw sabi niya kanina, lahat naman daw ng mga vegetables doon sa listahan, madaling itanim. But during this pandemic, ano yung mga easiest muna na matatanim mo out of the 18? Kasi ang gusto namin na after the show, you will already find means on how to plant at least 3. And then yung tatlo, dadagdagan natin ng tatlo and the next day and the next day. So magpupuna natin, parang 6 days lang you already finish the Bahay Kubo garden. Maybe we can do that, no? Why
Yeah.
can't we contest na Bahay Kubo garden?
We can definitely do that no, if they have access to seeds for those vegetables present in the bahay kubo. But for me, ang pinakamadali na itanim from that is, so by the way, there are like two kinds of seeds bago tayo mag-umpisa, di ba? So parang one is like directly seeded seeds. You know, these are the seeds na you can just directly plant on the ground. And then, meron naman iba is indirectly seeded seeds. Yung dapat itanim mo muna as a seedling bago mo siya ilipat sa isang malaking paso, no? Or in a plot of land. Yung pinakamadali sa indirectly seeded seeds, sa bahay kubo is talong at kamatis. Napakadali nila actually patubuin. Pero trivia. Kung nagtanim ka ng talong at kamatis, kahit nakahiwalay pa sila na paso, hindi sila pwedeng pagtabihin. You know? Or hindi sila pwedeng pagtabihin kasi they belong to the same family. You know, in terms of scientific lang. So, if magkapeste yung talong, magkakapeste din yung kamatis. So, kung magkakapeste yung kamatis, pagtapos na yung peste sa kamatis, it will go to the talong. So, somehow, they share the same pest. So, dapat, kung magtanim ka ng talong at kamatis, magkalayo sila or may agwat na ibang plants in the middle. Para kung may peste ito, naubos na ni peste talong, ang hirap na niya makatawid sa kamatis kasi tatawid pa siya sa sili, tatawid siya sa okra, tatawid siya sa sitaw bago siya makarating sa kamatis, patay na siya. So, these are just like trivia lang. And then the other one na pinakamadaling itanim is yung sitaw at saka labanos. Those are very, very easy to plant. Lalo na yung sitaw. Sitaw kasi it's direct seeded, no? So, idiretso mo lang siya itanim sa ground, tapos tutubo na siya agad. So, of course, you just need to have a trellis na aakitan ng sitaw. But, sobrang dali ng sitaw and in 3 to 4 months, meron ka ng bunga, meron ka ng sitaw na anihin. So, ang bilis-bilis. For kamatis naman at talong, it takes mga 90 to 120 days for you to have fruits as well. So, in 3 months, may maaani ka na talaga.
Okay. I just want to add to your talong and our eggplant. Kasi it's so nice that you will start doing that later on. Kasi I also learned the health benefits of talong. Alam ba natin lahat that it is good for digestion and it is also a preventive if you eat talong, it's preventive for cancer. I learned
wow.
it also prevents anemia, it also helps in bone growth. So ang daming benefit ng pagtatanim lang ng talong aside sa of course gastronomic, meron din siyang health benefits. So later on, we will share to you ano naman ang benefit ng sitaw and kamatis.
Kamatis.
No, na makita mo na ikaw lang talagang pwedeng magsabi na hindi pwedeng ipagtabi si talong and kamatis.
Yes. So, same sila ng peste, di ba? So, a lot of people are like, what? Di ba dapat pinagtatabi si talong at si kamatis kasi ang ganda nila tingnan. But no, they should not be, you know, in safe space together actually. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, marami tayong matutunan dito sa Tuesdays with Cherrie. I have a lot of tips to share with you. Like, kahit nga yung mga ampalaya later on, di ba? So, lahat ngayon parang gusto mag-ampalaya kasi anti-diabetes, and then kung may munggo ka, pwedeng mong lagyan ng dahon ng ampalaya. Diba? So later on, I will teach all those stuff in Tuesdays with Cherrie for people to learn how to take care of those plants.
Okay. Yeah, as we wait for that, I want to ask you, Che, if you want to start farming, what are the basic principles that you must have? At least basic, na madaling mahanap, madaling makita.
So first is, for me, I always ask people, what's your favorite vegetables to eat? You know, or what is your favorite fruit to eat? So for me, a lot of people starts with the vegetables because these are like not longer to grow. So pag sinabi mo sa akin, favorite ko ganitong gulay. So start with that because if it's your favorite, you already have the want to make it happen, the want to grow it.
Mhm.
Kung sa leafy vegetables naman, I would really recommend na to plant yung mga pechay, kangkong, you know, radish kasi in just a month, meron ka nang aanihin. So basic principle so far, of course, you need to have a good soil. So the perfect soil is, loam soil. Sometimes a lot of people didn't really have a good loamy soil. So you can actually make a good organic soil composition. So kung may matigas kang lupa na pagbungkal mo talaga naman pati yung asarol mo mababali, no? It's better to mix it with rice hull. Alam mo yung yung sa bigas, yung nag-grind na yung bigas, tapos may hull, yung parang brown thing, yung husk. So, pwede mo yun doon ihalo, and then, it's better nga if gawin mo siyang carbonized, yung umiitim siya para mo siyang carbonized rice hull. Para mo siyang inuling. Medyo inuling mo siya. Para when you mix it to your soil, it's not only good for the aeration of your soil, but it's also good antibacterial and antifungal. And it's also good for compost for your soil. And then second one is yung maganda din doon is if mayroon kang coconut coir, 'di ba yung niyog, pag binalatan mo yung niyog, may mga parang coir doon, no, na natatanggal. It's also good for your soil. So, I can also show that on how to make a good proportion of soil and how to make your soil healthy. Kasi sabi ko nga, kahit maliit lang yan na paso, if your soil is healthy, you will definitely have a very healthy plant. And then
Mhm.
second one is the basic of watering. So
Mhm.
sabi ko nga minsan 'di ba, pag nilulunod ka, mamamatay ka. So yung plants mo, hindi mo rin lulunurin para hindi din siya mamamatay. So there are basic timing of watering. So one is you water your plant mostly around 6 o'clock in the morning or before 10 a.m. before the heat of the sun will really come out. Yun yung perfect time to really water your plant. It's good for the farmer, hindi sila masyadong mainitan, but more importantly, it's good for your plants because before the sun, the intense heat of the sun would come out, your plants, are ready na, are conditioned na, they are hydrated already. And then the last time that you will water your plant is before sunset. So the
Why?
best time is 4 to 6. Kasi minsan, pag nag-water ka ng gabi, sa mga plants mo, wala ng init. So, minsan, wala na masyadong chance to evaporate or nagkakaroon ng molds yung plant mo. So, mahirap din yon. So, hopefully, if you water it, parang at least meron pang sun component, no, in the watering so that the excess water will evaporate faster at hindi malulunod yung tanim.
When you water the plants during with the sun, di ba yung chlorophyll formation, you need that. You need the sun for the
Yes,
chlorophyll, and you need the water, the components of oxygen and hydrogen there para
yes.
mag-form. Right. So
For
that's
photosynthesis, yeah, the food creation of the plant, it's really necessary. And then I think the third component is, of course, good quality planting material. These are the basics. Kasi, syempre, di ba, pag tao ka, pag pinalabas kang parang malnourished, ang hirap talaga maging healthy as a person. So, same with the plant, no? If you planted your plant with a bad seed, with almost expiring seed, don't expect that it will grow really good. If you got a good material for example, cuttings, hindi siya good quality material. So, yung plant mo, lupay-pay din pag lumalaki. So, basic is to get good quality seed with high germination rate, low mortality rate, and at the same time, pag maliit na mga seedlings, make sure na at least maganda na at malago yung kanyang mga dahon so that when you plant it, it's also a healthy plant to begin with.
okay. Che, when you say good germinating seeds, malalaman mo ba yan when you see it as good germinating? What do you see first for in a seed that will make it good germinating seed?
Most of the time, no, if you can test a seed, dami-dami kasing mga scientific, way of testing the seed. Ang pinakamadali, for example, if you buy a seed and then may pack yan, mayroon naman minsan nakasulat na germination rate dyan sa seed. Kung wala, you can do different methods. Yung pinakamadali is ilagay mo lahat ng seed sa tubig, lahat ng lulutang, yun yung dapat na hindi mo itanim. Lahat ng magsisink na seeds, yun yung dapat mong itanim. It means, pag lumutang na yung seeds, it means, the embryo maybe is drying up na because, it's not sinking anymore in water and mataas na yung buoyancy niya. So, lahat ng nag-sinking seeds, it means they still have a healthy embryo and then they have a good chance to actually grow well.
Okay, okay. Wow, ang dami. Pero again, to recap, if you want to start, first you have to at least know and identify the kind of soil, no? Kung masyadong matigas, kailangan medyo i-mix mo siya with a softer soil and a hull, 'di ba? Right?
Yes, to have good aeration, organic component.
You have to know, yes, and you have to know the watering techniques in planting. And then, sabi ni Cherrie nga, dapat pag nag-plant ka, nag-water ka, in the morning between 6:30, and then may sun, a little bit of sun, para ma-hydrate na yung plants, and then yung photosynthesis starts already very well as early as that. And then pwede ka mag-water in the afternoon between 4 and 6. Tama? So, and then the fourth is, dapat meron kang planting material that is really very good. Para hindi rin masayang yung money, hindi masayang yung effort.
Yes. So you got it perfectly. And then after that, wag mo na lang ipagdasal, no? Araw-araw bibisitahin mo yung tanim mo at ichichika-chikahin mo siya. But you know what, Jewel, di ba? A lot of people said, kinakausap ko yung tanim ko. Actually, that's really good. Because the more na kinakausap mo yung tanim mo, there's science behind it. We exhale like carbon dioxide, right? Lumalabas sa atin yung carbon dioxide so that we can take in oxygen. Plants naman, they need carbon dioxide to photosynthesize. And then when they get carbon dioxide, they, exhale naman oxygen, which we need. So there's a relationship. Pag kinakausap mo yung halaman mo, actually there's a science happening. No, nag-exchange kayo ng carbon dioxide and oxygen. So, gumaganda yung halaman mo, ikaw gumaganda din. So, nag-glowing ka.
That's benefit. So, who among you doesn't want to start one plant, diba? And wanting to have plants in your home, inside your room. Kasi, alam mo, baka lalago yung population natin, Cherrie. If everyone is a farmer, kasi, that's correct. Because, nature is really so abundant na you don't need anything. Everything germinates in whatever. Mag-start ka lang, may tutubo. Diba? So, nakakatuwa nga in our land magtapon ka lang ng seed ng kamatis or magtapon ka lang dyan, biglang may tutubo. And it's so nice to know that kasi yan ay hindi natin pinapansin sa kabisihan natin in the metro. Hindi mo na pinapansin yan kasi syempre busy ko with work and all that. But I guess it's also good that you just have to understand, listen, understand, and kung nakita mo ang benefit niya, this is just for your heart, it's also for your tummy, and it's also for your brain because you have to think. Pati yung mga photosynthesis na yan, of course, tinuro yan nung elementary tayo, nung high school tayo, nung college tayo, pero you will really know with the experience that everything that you're doing to the plant, everything that you're doing in life really connects. So that's nice to know, Shea. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you so much too. Marami pa kayong matutunan, And you know what, Jewel, I really like about this, being in agriculture. It's because I also constantly learning. Every day I still learn, I still read books, I have all these plants around me. Minsan nagkakapeste sila, so I still read like what's good for them. I have a rooftop garden here in my condo. And I still, sabi ko, bakit nag-yellow yung malunggay ko? Why my kamote is not growing? So I need to experiment again. And I just love
it. Okay, I thought kasi, di ba, this is breaking my mindset also, that if you're already studying, if you're an expert, alam mo na lahat ng mangyayari dyan. But it's good to know from Cherrie herself na even if alam niya na, pinag-aralan niya na, sometimes meron din siyang period na nagtataka siya bakit hindi nag-grow. So, more so sa atin, wag tayong mag-give up na once the plant, ako medyo may nakikita na ako nagba-brown dito ito sa isa sa mga plants dito. Parang natatakot na ako, anong gagawin ko sa succulent ko? So, but then, tama yung sinabi mo na you just have to keep learning. Maybe you have to communicate directly to your plants. Communication is not really na kinakausap mo siya like this, but at least be there, tend the plant, learn the sunlight need of your plant. For example, itong plant ko dito, this is just very simple. This is a snake plant, diba? It's not a vegetable, of course. It's succulent. So, hindi siya kailangan na madaming tubig. Kasi meron na siyang water in itself, no? So, ingat na ingat ako maglagay ng tubig. Kasi mamamatay siya pag ma-overwater siya.
Yes, so parang tao din yan, Jewel, di ba? Parang kailangan mo siyang buhusan ng pagmamahal. Pero yung iba din, na parang pag binubuhusan mo ng pagmamahal, sobra-sobra, nakakasakal na. So, but then the plants kasi, they don't talk. Hindi din sila nagtatampo. But they immediately show symptoms, they'll show signs. Mumuntik na lang, di ba? Pag iniiwanan mo yan at hindi mo yan didiniligan, kung may paalang yan, papunta na yan sa gripo at maliligo na. Hallelujah. So plants, it's like, they're human beings somehow because they're living things. But it's really more for us human beings. It's really teaching us paano maging sensitive. How to feel, how to see symptoms and signs na, ay, may mali yata akong ginawa dito. Hindi naman ito nagsasalita. So I feel it. I did something wrong. So tayo, mga tao, parang, I always have this relationship with my plant. Minsan may ginawa ba akong kasalanan sa'yo? Bakit hindi ka namumunga? Ginaganon ko yung aking mga tanim minsan. Like yesterday, I was with my luya. I have a lot of luya na tinanim kasi I drink luya every day, no? Tapos sabi ko, ay, bakit yung dalawa kong luya hindi natubo? Ay, ano bang ginawa kong kasalanan sa inyo? Bakit hindi kayo tumubo? Alam mo yon, parang nakakatuwa lang. Siyempre, kung may nakakita sa akin, sabihin, krong-krong yata to, di ba? Kasi kinakausap niya ang alaman niya. Pero alam mo, it's just a way na you have a relationship with your plant.
Just like anything. You must have the will to develop a relationship. And you can't develop it pag, diba, dinidedma mo lang. And they too send a signal. Meron akong isang funny na kwento lang about that. Sabay-sabay kami nagtanim ng yaya, nitong snake plant. Yung sa kanya, nilagay niya dun sa kitchen niya. Dun sa kanya. Dun sa akin dito sa bahay. Sabi niya sa akin, Ma'am, bakit hindi tumutubo to? Bakit namamatay? Kasi pinangalanan niya. Sabi ko kasi baka iba ang sinasabi mo sa kanya. I found out na pinangalan niya sa kanyang ex-husband.
So lahat baka naiinis pa siya sa ex-husband niya. So syempre parang, yung energy.
I wanna share that kasi ako naman, yung mga plans ko.
Ako, so pag may hate kayo in your heart, then pour it in your plant because they have feelings too.
Yeah, so anyway, mamaya ipapakita ni Cherrie how to plant talong, sitaw, and tomato. In this pandemic, importante that we have to take care of our health, Cherrie, right? By planting our own vegetables. And at the same time, of course, kung hindi naman kaya, huwag na natin pilitin, di ba? Pero kung kaya naman, I really encourage you to plant because at least alam mo na ikaw ang nagtanim, alam mo na walang mga pesticides kang nilagay, but we will learn from her also the natural way of making them grow, di ba? Organic or whatever it is, pwede naman. And then, ang importante also is this, yung sitaw is good for mothers who are wanting to be pregnant, kasi it is rich in folate. Ito yun sa brain development ng mga bata. Yung folate is very good in the neural development sa brain function ng bata in the womb of the mother. So sitaw is very good sa mga pregnant women and those who want to get pregnant. Kumain kayo ng maraming sitaw. And then, isa pa, ang excited ako, yung tomatoes. Alam naman natin that tomato is very rich in vitamin
Lycopene.
minerals. Yeah. Pero it also reduces the risk of heart attack.
Oh, wow.
Conditions na yan. So ngayong panahon, we cannot afford to really get sick. So ang daming benefit, and I'm so excited na tuturuan mo kami mamaya, Cherry, sa pagtatanim nitong tatlong halaman na to.
Hi guys! Ito po yung mga basic na requirements paano po kayo mag-umpisa magtanim. So, nasabi ko nga po, sa tatlong tanim sa bahay kubo, ang pinakamagaling at pinakamabilis itanim ay yung kamatis, sitaw, at saka ang talong. So, mamaya, tuturuan ko kayo paano itanim sila. Ang tandaan lang po natin, yung sitaw is directly seeded. So, ibig sabihin, pwede na siyang idiretsong itanim sa paso or sa inyong plot. Samantalang, ang kamatis at saka yung talong are indirectly seeded seeds. So, kailangan natin ng seedling tray kung saan sila itatanim bago sila ilipat sa paso or sa pot. Ang pinaka-importante, minsan hindi ako nag-gloves. Kaso lang ngayon, parang ang dumi ng aking mixture na lupa kasi meron itong organic fertilizer na galing actually sa pupo ng horse. And then, merong coconut husk at saka mayroong rice hull at saka mayroong lupa at saka carbonized rice hull, yung sinunog na ipa. At syempre, pinaka-importante yung trowel. So ngayon, nag-i-apron din ako kasi minsan, alam mo yung kung gusto ko hindi ako ganun kadungis pagkatapos ko mag-farming. Pero minsan gusto ko rin na sobrang dungis ako. So, depende sa panahon lang po yan. So ngayon, umpisa natin ang pagtatanim. Unahin ko po munang itanim ngayon yung sitaw. So kung ganito kalaki yung aking paso, siguro mga 10 inches diameter ito. For my urban gardening, pwede tayong magtanim ng 3 puno ng sitaw. At dapat, syempre, lalagyan natin ng trellis kapag lumaki na yung sitaw para meron silang gagapangan. So napakasimple kasi diretso lang siyang itanim. Tandaan, dapat maganda yung inyong tataniman. So, gagawa ako ng triad. 1, 2, 3. So, dito ko itatanim. Sitaw, 1, 2, 3. So, halos nakadistansya din po siya sa paso. Pero kung may plot kayo, maganda sana na yung distansya ng inyong sitaw ay medyo magkakalayo-layo. No? Sa akin kasi, ang gagawin ko dito is i-guide ko lang sila in terms of lupa at saka nutrients. Ngayon, dito na naman tayo sa talong. So, ito yung buto ng talong. Ang liliit, no? Ang buto ng talong. So, ang talong, idiretso ko lang din siyang itanim sa seedling tray. So, 2 buto din po para make sure kung mamatay yung isa, meron ka pang nabubuhay na isa. At least, marami. Napakasimple. So, pwede nyong tapusin at taniman lahat ng sa inyong seedling tray. Depende po sa inyong paglilipatan. Kung maglilipat kayo sa malawak na lupa, syempre minsan yung isang seedling tray hindi po siya enough, no? Kailangan yung magtanim ng marami. Pero sa akin kasi, naka-urban gardening ako. So, by paso lang. So, binibilang ko lang din yung kaya kong patubuin. Ito naman yung pagtatanim ng kamatis sa seedling tray. So, unahin muna, pwede sa isang butas ng seedling tray, meron kayong 2 buto ng kamatis. So, ako ginagawa ko, dinidikit ko siya sa dulo ng aking stick, tapos tinusok ko lang siya. Make sure na natatabunan ng maayos at maganda yung lupa sa seedling tray. So, kuha na naman ako ng 2. Tapos, dito lang ng ganyan. So, napakadali lang po. After 14 days, yun na po yung time na transplant po siya, and after 90 to 120 days, may bunga na po yung ating kamatis. And then, Jewel, no, aside from that, I guess in the long haul of the show, marami pang tips na matutunan sila. Like for example, yung isa pang ang exciting na I really want to teach. Pag may budget ka, allocated for a little bit of like gardening for your home, ano yung mga mabibili mo sa ganitong budget, saan ka makakabili, paano siya, magsa-start ng easiest plant to grow. So, marami-marami silang aabangan at matututunan sa Tuesdays with Cherry. Kaya, yan, dapat ipagpatuloy lang nila ang pagpapanood sa atin. At by the way pala, Jewel, I'm so happy kasi ang dami nating mga OFW friends na nanood sa ating show na nagme-message sa akin. I was so touched. Yung
Bayan.
isang, yeah, may isang message na galing daw siya sa Middle East. Nagtatrabaho daw siya sa Middle East and pagod na siya. And
Oh,
may lupa daw sila somewhere in Samar na gusto niyang uwian. So, pinapanood niya daw kasi sabi niya gusto ko pong matuto kasi gusto ko nang umuwi sa Pilipinas at gamitin yung aming lupa at gusto ko nang makasama yung aking pamilya. So, this one, parang it gives me so much inspiration because she is only one of the 10 million Filipinos out there, outside our country. Now, all of them are working so hard, to help their family back home. Lahat naman tayo may mga sacrificial lamb, di ba? So parang, but all they want to do is to end it also, be back in the Philippines and stay with their family. So hopefully we can help them and, this is something that worth doing.
for sharing that, Cherry. And thank you so much sa ating mga OFWs. And at least nakakagaan ng loob, nakakabigay ng hope na umuwi kayo, pagod na kayo, may pwede kayong gagawin. And this is something also that could help your family na hindi na kayo umalis ng bansa because it's always nice na magbuo-buo ang pamilya natin. And you know what, friends? Here at the Rise Up Talk, we just want really to encourage everyone. We want to engage with you. We here at Tuesdays with Cherry, we want you also to share to us your experience in farming, in planting. Pati yung mga frustrations yung okay lang yan. Kasi the more that we are true to ourselves and the more that we are telling everyone, ano yung, we share. And then, malay mo, may magbibigay na angel dyan sa'yo na magsasabi ng solution dyan on a certain thing na ginagawa mo, like planting na hindi mo makita ang, bakit hindi ito nag-grow, hindi namumunga, hindi ganyan. So malay mo, makakatulong din ang Tuesdays with Cherry. But, also friends, ang Tuesdays with Cherry is also connected to the initiatives and the advocacies of Cherry. One of which is the Move Food Initiative. I just want to introduce that to you because ang dami ng milestones na nagawa ng Move Food Initiatives during this lockdown. Okay, Sherry will share about that. Pero first of all, I want to congratulate Agria Philippines and the
Oh,
Move Initiative for being able to receive a grant from Brazil. Is that right, Cherry?
yes,
Congratulations.
yes.
You are first in Asia, right? Get
Yeah,
the
so we got this Global Food Fund Award. It's basically from social um, gastronomy movement. So it's called SGM, where all the best chefs in the world or advocates on sustainable food system, especially on, um, you know, um, promoting zero waste in the food system, are all part of that. And we're so happy to be part of that. Actually, grabe yon. Kasi parang my friend said, Cherry, you need to apply to this organization for a grant. And then, sabi ko, I woke up and then I received a call from her. And then I said, kailan yung deadline? She said, like, tomorrow. I was like, what? And then, pagbukas ko ng requirement, it's like super daming requirements. And I need to be part of the SGM first as a community member. And when I signed up, we're like the first in Asia. Kasi parang it's like all Europe, America, Northern America, and Latin America sa map nila. And then, nung pag-sign up ko, ang laki ng araw, Philippines. So parang I'm so happy. Sabi ko, oh my goodness, at least, we're bringing it to the Philippines and yeah, we won the grant.
what do you plan
So,
to
yeah, actually, Jewel, the grant, we really decided to put the money award for that one and more to come because it's opening us more opportunities. We want to continue putting that resources on ARC, the Agria Rescue Kitchen. Because, alam mo ba, lahat-lahat ng mga farmers na nanonood ngayon, our country is losing 35% post-harvest Sometimes it goes up to 75% depending on the farmer's post-harvest situation. Pagka-harvest sila, may mabentahan ba sila? May refrigerated truck sila or may mga chiller sila? Those are non-existent in our farming community. So kaya ang laki-laki ng lugi. So our arc naman, 'di ba sabi ko nga parang Noah's Ark, let's all sail together. But then sabi ko, oh, let's do something with sail. So seasonal, artisanal, intentional, and limited. We will only process food that are in season, and it's all intentional because it's really helping a lot of people. It's artisanal because it's sourcing local from our farmers, and it's limited kasi pag hindi na siya season, si wala ka ng availability. So ibang produkto na naman yung ilalabas namin. So it's a beautiful endeavor that my team is having.
Yeah, this is under Move Food Initiatives, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us about Move Food Initiative? Congratulations again, Che. I'm so proud of you.
The Move, thank you so much too. The Move Food Initiative, basically, it was just an initiative taken out of generosity because 3 days after the lockdown in March 16, a lot of farmers are asking us for help where to send and sell their produce because their markets are closed. So ako naman, sabi ko, sige, umpisahan natin. But oh my goodness, it was like such a nightmare. Kasi, di ba, yung logistics requirement, may truck ka, walang driver kasi takot magka-COVID. Sabi nga, pag nagka-quarantine tayo, pero yung COVID hindi na pag nagka-quarantine eh. The virus is like all out, di ba? So lahat ng tao takot lumabas. So ako, parang sabi ko, let's just do it together. And then let's do something to make this pineapple farmer na naghiram sa bangko ng pera na magtanim ng pineapple para sa graduation ng anak niya. So right now, Jewel, alam mo ba, we help from one farmer, we help now 16,000 farmers in our platform. And we deliver goods to a lot of people in Metro Manila who are looking for ways to find fresh produce. And then we save almost 174,000 kilos. 174 metric tons of fruits and vegetables. Minsan nga, parang hindi pa rin ako makapaniwala kung paano namin siya magawa because it was really so hard. And we're such a small player in this agriculture sector. But I always believe that Agria is a small player but a quality player because it has a clear vision and a clear mission on how to really change the lives of our farmers and fisher folks in the Philippines.
I like it that you mentioned intentional, that you mentioned these things na parang zero waste, walang nasayang na pagkain. And at the same time, you were actually giving the farmer encouragement. Importante eh. Kasi ang farmers, they invest. Sometimes they borrow money to plant, and then pag hindi nila magamit just because nag-lockdown, hindi nag-integrate ang system ng government and their system, alam mo, maraming nasayang. But then with that kind of initiative, which is very noble, na during this pandemic, naghanap ka ng truck para madala yung produce nila to your store at nabenta mo, I think that is something to start with. You said na maliit lang kayo na player, but little things done in an extraordinary way becomes really great in the end. So, and I realized, Che, that in your Move Food initiative, you also worked with other groups, no? Hindi mo pinilit na ako lang ito. You work with the local government. You work with the agencies in the government as well, so that lahat ng ito mangyayari. And that is what sustainable farming, sustainable agriculture endeavor should be. Na lahat ng mga institution in the government must support the role of the farmer. And diba, para to bring their produce from the farm to the table. So
Yes.
I'm so proud that you have started it, and I hope that we can have more people like you after they watch the show.
Actually, Jewel, no, for me, I always believe in the power of collaboration, not competition. Kasi parang we're done with competition. The world has been built in competition. And look at how vulnerable and weak the world is. Diba? Isang pandemic lang, we're all done. But I think moving forward, this new normal, the always perfect formula is co-opetition, di ba?
Yes.
Cooperate to compete. But for me, it's really more in collaboration. How can you work with, we work a lot with CSR programs of nonprofit organizations. We work with the government. We work with people who are in business also on how we can help the farmers. So for me, hindi pwede ikaw Wonder Woman lang or isang organization lang yung gumagalaw. It's the perfect time also that the government is very responsive and we have the best in agriculture especially. I need to stress that we have the best Secretary of Agriculture who is really trying his best. And I'm so happy nga pala kasi I'm part of this National Agriculture and Fisheries Council. And imagine from -5 performance of Philippine agriculture last year, this year, despite the pandemic, we are 1.6% positive.
Wow.
Such a big lift, such a big leap talaga from the most difficult part. And sabi ko nga, parang namamayagpag ngayon yung ating agrikultura. And I really tribute all this very beautiful work to our farmers and fisher folks who are there despite the pandemic, who continue to go out, be frontliners to bring food to our individual table.
Yes, and at the same time, this is a very quiet agency of the government. Very quiet in the sense that you don't see them always on television, but then they're working very hard. So I'd like
Yes.
to commend Secretary Dart for doing a great job in the Department of Agriculture. And marami pa yan. And another fact also this year, this recently is that the losses that these farmers have already up to now na MECQ pa rin tayo, Filipino farmers is amounting to $3.6 million. Pero sa tingin ko, Che, 'di ba, ma-recover naman 'yan. Kasi mabilis naman mag-recover ang mga field of agriculture, ang mga agripreneur natin, right? So
Yeah.
like
Actually, Jewel, it can be recovered, especially if all the consumers will start to source local, support our local farmers. It's something that is really very impactful. Kasi the more na we drive our consumption towards localization, it will also resonate to the production side. So sana yun yung mangyayari after this pandemic, it's tested na wala ng global trade na nangyayari. Wala naman we sorted out what's in our backyard. And hopefully it will continue for us to check what's in our backyard, what's grown in our backyard, what's grown by Filipino farmers. And I will support that locally grown product produced from my own land by my own Filipino farmers and fisher folks. So sana ipagpatuloy because it's the only way that our country will really progress.
yes, and there's so much hunger going on, involuntary hunger here and all over. But in the Philippines lang, ang mga Filipino families, dumadami yung nagugutom. And of course, it's not an overnight thing. At least we start something here. And then work, si Cherrie is really active, very busy, working with other organizations so that these initiatives can really be appreciated when it comes to the table already of every families, no? Kasi importante lang naman talaga is to have also something to eat. And we hope na with the efforts of all these government agencies na mag-isa sila, even technology, kailangan mag-isa na with technology, with the Department of Technology natin, no? DICT, para mas-scale up naman ang ginagawa in terms of telling people what they should do so that they can
Yeah.
sustain farming, okay, and agriculture. So, okay. So, shares, is there anything more that you'd like to share with our
So
viewers?
far, I'm
Initiative.
so Yeah, I'm so happy to actually, be sharing with you our Move Food initiative and the ARC. It's ongoing delivery of food. It's accessible. You can follow both initiatives in Facebook. It's very active. I have a great team working so hard to continue bringing healthy produce from our farmers to Metro Manila. So we deliver all over Metro Manila. You can follow that one, and also we're so happy that the agriculture sector is booming. It's giving its rightful recognition, and hopefully by watching Tuesdays with Cherry, you'll find more reason to actually learn, to actually connect in agriculture, and to take action on how to contribute to the food security of our country.
Wow, that's well said, Cherry. So maraming salamat. I think ang mga kaibigan natin na nanonood ngayon, meron din silang mga insights. Meron din silang gustong itanong. Please write to us, write to Miss Cherry. You can visit her Facebook. You can visit also the page of Tuesdays with Cherry. You can also watch the show in a YouTube channel and in our riseuptalk.com website. So friends, this evening we are so very lucky that we have this episode on the basics of farming, and we learned something more about bahay kubo and how to plant those three vegetables, talong, sitaw, and kamatis.
Kamatis.
Okay, so dapat ihiwalay pala si talong and si kamatis.
Kamatis.
And, this is another episode of Tuesdays with Cherry. There's always kulang sa oras when we talk about agriculture life, when we talk about farming. And what's good about this is that we just want you to be happy. We just want to for you to imbibe positivity with us, because we want us to rise up together. And farming is easy and sexy.
Sexy.
In our next episode, God bless you all.
Thank you so much. See you in our next episode, and there will be a lot of surprises coming your way. So abang-abangan lang po. Maraming salamat.